This is going to be a video on my top 20 favorite Led Zeppelin songs. Like the other top 20 lists that I've done, I'm not by any means saying these are the best 20 Led Zeppelin songs. These just happen to be my personal favorites. So I'm going to start at the bottom with number 20. And I want to say first off, Led Zeppelin was a band that I got heavily into in college. I wasn't so much a fan in high school, but when I went away to college, all my roommates were big time into Led Zeppelin. And that's when I first started collecting Led Zeppelin. I actually got everything by Led Zeppelin on cassette and then on CD. And then finally, I completed my vinyl collection of Led Zeppelin. So ever since college, I've just been huge into Led Zeppelin. I love the catalog. It's so hard. Just like with the Beatles and Beach Boys, it's so hard to narrow it down to 20 songs, but I've done my best here. Track number 20 is going to be from the Led Zeppelin 3 album. I'm going to go with Gallows Pole, first track on side 2. I just love the fact it's kind of got it starts off very folky, and then at the end, the tempo picks up, and it's almost like a folky stomp at the end where just things pick up a whole lot. The lyric seems like it's an adapted folk song, something maybe by, I don't know, Lead Belly, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure the composing credits on that, but I love Gallows Pole a lot. I think it's a great album side first track. Number 19, I'm going to go to In Through the Outdoor. I'm Gonna Crawl, the very last track on the very last Led Zeppelin Led Zeppelin album John Bonham drummed on. And I don't know if it's just because it's the last track, it's the last, Led Zeppelin album to feature John Bonham. It's just got a very mournful, slow blues feel to it. I know there's many people who rank In Through the Outdoor near the bottom if they were ranking Led Zeppelin's albums, but I like In Through the Outdoor a lot. I like the fact that there's a lot of synthesizers on there. I know John Paul Jones uses the synthesizers a lot, particularly on side 2. But I just love the way that they complement that track. It's always been a huge fave, one of my favorite Led Zeppelin blues songs, even though that might be, blasphemy to some, diehard blues traditionalists. But I really like I'm Gonna Crawl. It's just a great, Jimmy Page's solo is just so moving on that track. John Bonham, adds so much to it. And I don't know, I've always loved that track, so that's going to be number 19. Number 18 is going to be on the Presence album, Royal Orleans, the last track on side 1. I've always enjoyed that. It's kind of got a little bit of a James Brown funky feel to it. Might be sort of like the sister to the Crunge from Houses of the Holy, but I like it. It's a fun little track. I like the guitar phrasing in it. It's just a funky little track, and it's a cool way to wind down side 1 of Presence. It's got some pretty heavy stuff on it. Track number 17, I'm going to go with Houses of the Holy from Physical Graffiti. Almost made it onto the Houses of the Holy album, but you can see where it was a little too close to some of the stuff that was already on Houses of the Holy, so they held it back for the double album Physical Graffiti. Really enjoy that song a lot. It's just got a fun vocal to it. You can tell Robert Plant's having a ball singing it. They just do it so well. I really enjoy that period of Led Zeppelin, the Houses of the Holy, straight into Physical Graffiti, which is kind of a mixed bag. It's some new stuff. It's got some leftover tracks from previous albums, but Houses of the Holy to me is just one of my favorite Led Zeppelin tracks. Just a real fun track to listen to. 16, I'm going to go with Your Time Is Gonna Come. Now, the first Led Zeppelin album I had on cassette, and the cassette I had, Your Time Is Gonna Come, starts off side A. They have the side switched on the cassette, so I was always accustomed to that being the first track on the first Led Zeppelin album. I know it's technically the first track on side B, but no matter what side you hear it on, I've just always enjoyed that track. I love everything about it. It's just kind of got a real laid back. It's kind of a diss track. And yet, I don't know, I just enjoy the heck out of it. It's not overly heavy. It's acoustic based. You know, Jimmy Page does some great lead guitar fills and licks in there. And I love the way that it kind of fades out and segues, you know, right into the instrumental Black Mountain side. 15, I'm going to go with What Is and What Should Never Be from the second Led Zeppelin album. You know, again, one of those where the verses are light and the tempo just picks up and it totally rocks and kicks ass in the chorus. So you got that kind of gentle, slow build up. Robert Plant's vocal is almost like a whisper in that first verse. All the verses actually. And then I just love the way that they just kick it up in the chorus. And just a great track and a cool title also. I think that is just the perfect mix. 14, I'm going to go back to the In Through the Outdoor album for A Fool in the Rain. Just really like that. Just got a great tempo to it. I like the little samba break towards the end of the song and John Bonham's cool drum fills at the end. It's just got kind of a nice rollicking feel to it. And I don't know, it's just a fun track. I love the heck out of it. One of the definite highlights from In Through the Outdoor. So track 13, I'm going to go to the fourth Led Zeppelin album for When the Levee Breaks. Just a great grinding blues rocker. Obviously the Beastie Boys used it as they sampled it for, I think it was Rhymin' and Stealin', the first track off License to Ill. But nonetheless, it's great. I think they recorded it in a stairwell. They recorded John Bonham's drums in a stairwell just to get that heavy thumping, cavernous beat sound that he uses on that. And it's just so great. Everybody is in top form. Robert Plant's vocals sound like he's singing through a megaphone. It's just got a great feel. Great way to wind up the fourth Led Zeppelin album for. Number 12 is going to be back to Physical Graffiti for In the Light, the first song on side 2. Just love how it starts out, and you've got the, I'm not sure what instrumentation they use. It sounds very much Middle Eastern, and then it winds into just kind of a slow but heavy song. Robert Plant sings the hell out of it. It's great. Just the rhythm section is so awesome. Just have always loved that track. Number 11, I'm going to go to the Presence album for the epic Achilles' Last Stand. Such an epic track. Just love the rhythm to that. Everything about it, the lyrics, Robert Plant's vocals, Jimmy Page's guitar work. It's just such a bombastic and yet fantastic song. So that is going to wind out my bottom 10. And then for the top 10, my number 10 is going to be Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You from the first Led Zeppelin album. It's a cover of a Joan Baez song that both Robert Plant and Jimmy Page were in love with. Just a great track. Again, we have the light and then the heavy. The verses are just very, you know, very light with Jimmy Page accompanying Robert Plant's impassioned vocals on his acoustic guitar, and then the chorus just slams you right in the face. Everything, even though it's still acoustic bass, I mean, Jimmy Page is just strumming the hell out of that acoustic guitar, and John Bonham is just beating the hell out of the drums. It's just such a great climax. I love the soft and then the heavy. That's something that Led Zeppelin did to great effect. Number 9, Misty Mountain Hop. Always love that. I am a sucker for the clavinet, the keyboard in that track, and I just think it's so well. John Paul Jones, not only was he a great bassist, but he was a great keyboardist, and that is, you know, definitely one of my favorite up-tempo Led Zeppelin songs. Just a really fun song, a great way to kick off the second side of Led Zeppelin, the fourth Led Zeppelin album, after the epic Stairway to Heaven and the heaviness of that. Just a really, really fun track. Number 8, I'm going to go to the epic Kashmir from Physical Graffiti. What else can I say about that? Just one of the best things Led Zeppelin ever recorded. Again, with the Eastern sounds. Just great vocal from Robert Plant. I love the strings on it. Just the driving rhythm and melody of it. Just fantastic. Track number 7, Dazed and Confused from the first album. It's a little too much. It's a side long on The Sounds Remain the Same live soundtrack, but I much prefer just kind of the stripped down version that's on Led Zeppelin 1. Just the bass on it alone is just so ominous, and Jimmy Page's, little guitar fills in there. The echo, the wah-wah on it is just, it's a great song to listen to in the dark, and they do it so well. Can't say enough about that song, but I just love the descending bass line, and, it's doesn't have to knock you over the head to get its point across. So I love that track a lot. Track number 6, 10 Years Gone from Physical Graffiti. Just a real sentimental, kind of reflective song from Robert Plant. Enjoy it a lot. Just a great track on a really great album. Physical Graffiti is maybe my favorite Led Zeppelin album of all time, and that track really stands out, kind of stuck there in the middle of side 2, or actually, I'm sorry, the side 4 of the second album, but I love that track to death. Top 5 now. Number 5 is going to be Song Remains the Same from Houses of the Holy. I've always just loved the way that track starts out, even before Robert Plant's vocal comes in. They're just very frenetic. I love Jimmy Page's guitar on it. Just everything about it. He just plays the guitar so well on there. This sounds very much multi-track guitars. The rhythm of it all, the way that it just drives along before kind of it settles down, and then Robert Plant's vocals come in. So that is definitely my favorite lead up. Maybe my favorite. Well, I don't know. I can't say it's my favorite track from Houses of the Holy because I've got one more on my list, but it's definitely a great way to start off that album, and a great first impression. So number 5. Number 4, back to Houses of the Holy for No Quarter. I love it. It's probably Led Zeppelin's most progressive track, just very moody. I love the Mellotron, and again, when I'm talking about John Paul Jones, what a great keyboardist he is. It's such an understated melody and texture that he weaves on that Mellotron, but I prefer the version on Song Remains the Same, but I still love the Houses of the Holy version. So No Quarter, just pure excellent from start to finish. Number 3, I'm going to go with Black Dog from the 4th Led Zeppelin album. This is actually my single for Black Dog. It's got Misty Mountain Hop on the flip. This is a pretty heavy, the heaviest vinyl that I have on any of my singles. So I think that's pretty cool. But Black Dog, just like the rhythm of it is just so unique, and it's, I don't know, I love Robert Plant's vocals are so great in isolation, and then the rhythm kicks in, and it's, I'm not a musician, so I can't tell you what time it's in, but I just love kind of that plodding rhythm to the middle section, and then they kick it up and it goes into a full-scale jam at the end. But definitely one of the first Led Zeppelin songs that I remember hearing on the radio back in the 70s, when I wasn't even into Led Zeppelin all that much, and I remember being impressed by it even then, and that stuck with me. Number 2 might surprise many people that I've got this ranked so high, but it's going to be In My Time of Dying. It's actually a song that was on Bob Dylan's first album in a much different arrangement, but I love Jimmy Page's slide guitar on there. I love John Bonham's drumming, just the way that it all comes together, especially at the end. John Bonham just pounding the hell out of those drums. And, you know, again, the soft and then the heaviness, and then it just goes into a full-scale meltdown, blues meltdown at the end there. And then, you know, Robert Plant's final, you know, calls out to Jesus, and the cough at the end is such a great coda. I love that. I think it's hilarious. But no, you know, that song could go on for 10 more minutes and I'd still be captivated and still love that. My favorite heavy Led Zeppelin song from that album. And then number 1, I'm going to go to Led Zeppelin 2. Got to go with Whole Lotta Love. Influenced so many bands, and it doesn't get any better than that for me. That is a quintessential Led Zeppelin song. Just from the very beginning, the whole riff, John Bonham's drumming is so thunderous. The bass work is so fantastic. If you listen to all those pieces in isolation, it's just fantastic. Robert Plant's vocals is so spot on and just so passionate and so epic. And John Bonham's drumming, just all the pieces fit together so well. That is my number 1 Led Zeppelin song. So I appreciate everybody for watching, and I'd love to know your Led Zeppelin top 20 if you have one, if you've whittled your list down. It's not an easy task, I can tell you. If you're a Led Zeppelin fan, I challenge you to try it. It's so hard, especially when you're getting into that top 5. How do you even pick? But as of today, that is my list. Again, thanks for watching. Give me a like if you enjoyed the video, and hope everybody's safe and doing well.